Cool. Um, well, yeah, so we'll just get started if that's all right. Thank you very much for joining me.
No,
You
thank you for
must
having me.
That's all right. You must be quite excited because we've been. I was at the hotel sort of towards the end of last year, and you guys have been
Oh,
shut, so it's coming up for it opening again quite soon. So you must be quite excited for that happening.
oh yeah, very much so. And I was up there yesterday, so I got a proper tour around the site, which was great because everyone's been keeping me in the loop with photos and videos and all sorts. But it was so nice to be on the ground, and the sun came out, and it was blue sky, so that helped a lot. It was just, yeah, it was amazing to see everything that we've been planning kind of really come to life. And I was blown away by what the team have achieved in the time, especially since the closure over the closure period. So yeah, so that's really exciting.
And so, just for anyone that doesn't know, we just give us an overview of what's kind of happening and what they can expect when you reopen.
So we closed, yeah, straight after the start of this year, after Hogmanay, and we have essentially built an entirely brand new restaurant out over our lawn, a new kitchen behind that, which was really quite impressive when I had a view of it yesterday. We've transformed our old back of house. We've managed to get three new rooms there, which is huge for us. And what I'm really excited about is we've got our first accessible suite has gone in on the ground floor in the main house, because previously our only accessible accommodation was in the gate lodge at the end of the drive. So to have, amazing, it's called Rose. It's a lovely suite. It looks out over the garden on the ground floor. So we've got that. So we've managed to gain three new rooms, an entirely new kitchen, back of house area, a new restaurant, which kind of extends. It's this amazing kind of modern glass extension. And then in doing that, our old restaurant, the glass house, it's been completely stripped out. We've got rid of our kind of finishing kitchen that was in there. So that's now kind of been restored to what is ultimately like quite a traditional orangery space, which is going to be designated afternoon tea, but also function space, which allows us to hold larger weddings and events of all different kinds. And then the final piece to the jigsaw puzzle is our little kind of cabin in the woods, which is going to be known as our woodland retreat, which is our wellness centre. Centre is probably too big a word. It's just a kind of little escape in the woodland, but I'm really excited about that because to have a wellness offering, I think, is a really nice thing for us. So
Yeah,
I think
lovely.
I think I've remembered everything.
Is there also plans to have a kind of fine dining
Oh yeah, sorry. That was
somewhere?
that was the final bit. Yeah, so we've got in what was our kind of private dining area previously, and this is a bit we're really excited about. We've got we're transforming that into a designated fine dining restaurant offering, which is going to be super small and kind of a really boutique, intimate setting. Think about 16 covers, which we're hoping to run 5 nights a week, and so that will be our kind of really elevated dining experience.
Nice. And was this always in the plans, or is it something that you've just kind of thought about more recently?
These plans have been in the making for literally years. I think the most amazingly addictive thing about Cromlix is that there's just so much potential there on site. And I've got quite a creative brain, and I just love thinking about things we can do. But I think the challenge over the last few years has been channeling that and taking one step at a time. But absolutely, we've known since we moved to self-management a few years ago that we wanted to kind of upgrade our dining offering and the restaurant experience. We were always hopeful we could get more rooms as well, but I think the restaurant was something that we knew we wanted to do, and we felt that the business kind of really needed as that investment in order to just grow slightly. So yes, it's been in the plans for a long time. I think the first stage was our kind of move to self-management and the actual renovation of the actual building and the kind of the redoing of all the rooms and things in the interiors. And yeah, since we started that process, we've been working on this next big stage of development. So yeah, it's been a while. We've been thinking about it.
Yeah, and so you were involved from the self management and then the sort of redesign, and from 2023, you were really involved. So have you been as involved this time round, and what can people expect from the interiors? Because you were very quite heavily involved in that, weren't you?
Yeah, it's exactly. And it's just been an extension of that. We've got the same team. Suzanne Garuda has done the interiors for us. I love working with her. We've had, a really successful partnership. We did our family home together. And then obviously we did the first stage of refurbishment at the hotel. So I love working with her. I love her style. She really knows what I want as a client as well. So she's been doing it. And our wonderful architect, Fergus Purdy, he's been on the project since we started. So yeah, and I've been across all of it. It's, yeah, I think the key is having a great team to kind of help your ideas come to life, because I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just, I've just got ideas. But yeah, I think the thing that has really excited me on this bit is the architectural side of it, which obviously previously it was just refurbishment in terms of, and from an interiors point of view, the existing spaces, but creating, a really bespoke, well, from a functional point of view, being able to do the back of house, the kitchen and everything, to make that bespoke and the way designed exactly how we want is, such a privilege. And I think our kitchen team are quite excited about it, but also just to create, an architectural element to this, old period building is really, has been really exciting. So it's a real transformation and it's a departure from what's there already. But I think the contrast between the two is going to be really special.
Yeah. And so you've just tasted quite a lot of the dishes yesterday. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, I
Yeah.
still feel it. It was a lot of food, but it was very exciting.
So what can you tell us about the new dishes, the new menu, what's coming up?
So, so we were focusing yesterday. We've got on the two different restaurant offerings. The Garden Room, which is our new big kind of the main hotel restaurant, sorry, and also our fine dining one. And I think, yeah, it was important to me that there's distinction between the two, and they're two different offerings, because I think if you're a resident of the hotel and you're on a multi-night stay, it's nice to have some variation in what you're eating. It's really important to me that the Garden Room, the main restaurant, is not too great a departure from what we've had, because we're so fortunate to have so many repeat guests and customers that I don't want to totally alienate them with throwing something entirely new. But it's really exciting for James Mearing, a new executive head chef, for him to really put his own mark on things. We're really keen on family style kind of sharing menus, and a kind of a fluid dining experience. So it's not so prescriptive, not super formal, because we were really keen that the hotel itself is quite informal and relaxed. But yeah, just kind of really hearty, best of British kind of produce, and especially Scottish, highlighting local Scottish produce and what we can get from our garden and around the estate as well. So yeah, that was the Garden Room. And then our fine dining is, it's just a chance for James to really go for it and play and, be super creative. And yeah, really, it's a much more elevated menu. And all of it was delicious. And I was very excited at the end of it.
And did you have a favourite dish from yesterday?
Oh yeah, there was an incredible rice pudding, which I kind of squealed at when it came out, because it's one of my favourites. I know it's quite divisive, but yeah, there was a rice pudding which I'm still dreaming about, and I wish I'd had more of, because I was broken by that point by the amount of food we'd had. And there was a scallop ceviche as well that they did, that was just, yeah, blew my mind. But I'm genuinely really excited about it. And I think the produce that they're looking at using, and kind of the connection to our gardens and our grounds as well, that they really want to use to drive the restaurant forward, particularly the fine dining restaurant. I think it's a really exciting angle.
Yeah, just a side note, I love rice pudding too, and some people find
Oh,
it
good.
weird, but it's so good.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's amazing. And it was a cold one. And I was like, oh my God, it was the stuff of dreams. And I could have eaten it for ages. But yeah, my favourite pudding.
Is there something on the menu, whether it's a food or a drink, that is an absolute staple, like has to stay regardless of what happens? Like, you would,
The
that's the
rice
hill you would
pudding,
die on.
that will be the thing. That I'm like, I've said it's never leaving. No, they were talking about a souffle, like is a kind of a savory souffle that they were discussing, kind of making it almost a signature dish that evolves with the seasons and is really influenced by the gardens. And so that was, I think, an angle that they were looking to go down. It's still in the early stages of the menu development, but I think James has got some really strong ideas about which way he wants to go.
Nice. So you guys have won multiple awards. You've got your Michelin keys, which you've retained for the second year. Do you have an eye on a Michelin star? Which I know is a bit of a divisive question, but
Oh no, yeah, I think it's a really hard question. I would never want to put that pressure on our team. I think because I think the aspiration is purely to offer something that feels, it feels in that ballpark in terms of an elevated experience. But I would never kind of set a goal in that way for that, because I think, yeah, like, it can be divisive. It's quite a, yeah, it's a polarizing word, I don't know. I don't want to say like, oh, because they'd feel like they'd failed if they hadn't. But I just want them to prove, to create something that is so enjoyable, is a unique, is interesting, and is a really, a real destination. And yeah, for me, success is kind of like happy, well-fed people coming through the doors and filling the restaurants.
Which is the local community, because I know that it's quite a staple of the community, and it was one of the reasons that you guys wanted to kind of take it over and kind of save it from closing down. Are they all quite excited about it reopening and coming back and sort of seeing what it's like? Are you getting good feedback from the locals,
Yeah.
basically?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think we've forged really strong links with the local community, and Barry, our general manager, has just been, imperative as well in terms of driving that forward. And he's a local guy himself now, and he's forged really strong links. And yeah, we get fantastic feedback from locals. And I think that was something that, when we moved to self-management, was a real goal of mine, because it felt like previously we weren't courting the local community, and that didn't feel right. I wanted it to be a place that locals really utilised, whether it was for, an everyday thing or a quick casual visit or something, for a landmark celebration. And yeah, we employ a lot of people from the local area. And I know the team had a recruitment drive in Dunblane a couple of weeks ago, which sounded like it was really successful. And there was a lot of interest from local people, and especially young people, which is really nice. So I think it's for me, it was always going to be, that was going to be a mark of the success, is how much are locals coming through the doors.
And will you guys be up just before opening, or are you going to be there sort of as it opens, really trying it
Oh,
all out to make
absolutely.
sure?
Our plans would definitely be to be there for opening, like desperate. We'd be desperate to mark that, I think, providing our children's schedules allow. That's the most challenging thing for us, is like getting up and down now, with all the kids to look after. But yeah, absolutely, we'll be there for opening. And yeah, if not before, I definitely want to go back beforehand, because I just love seeing kind of the progress in real life. So yeah, we'd love to be there for opening.
So with the grounds, you've got like multiple acres, about 34 acres, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought, given Andy's retirement and golf career, that you'd put a golf course in there, or a small putting green or
I know,
something?
I don't think he needs any encouraging. We have got an area, and I don't know how much of this is Andy or how much is Barry, who our GM, who loves his golf, but we are putting some putting, like an area in. So there's some putting greens, but I don't think, and that's not like a big official putting green, but a little area where we could, there's some holes in the ground that you could hit a golf ball towards. I've been told it's got all the correct drainage and things, but I think, maybe I'd like to draw the line somewhere. I think if he had his way, we'd have everything ripped up and, golf courses scattered around everywhere. But no, as we're so fortunate with the site we've got, but equally it's a really wonderfully untouched site, and so I don't want to make it too manicured or do too much to it, over engineer it. I think there's a real charm in how it's just quite unkempt in places, and it just invites natural exploration. We'll have bikes for people to cycle around, and there's loads of paths and trails and things you can walk in to enjoy the grounds. But I think I don't want to over manicure our grounds too much, because it's part of the charm, is how natural the landscape is around there.
And so obviously this is going to reopen in May. Is everything opening at once? So like the wellness kind of area as well as the restaurants. So that's your big obviously plan is to just get all this open for this year.
Yes. So that's, fingers crossed, everything all being well, it will all open, and our wellness will be going, and we'll have our big new garden room and cradle, the fine dining will open at the same time.
Oh yeah, that's right. So it's the what are the names of the restaurants?
Sorry. So the garden room is our new big kind of the big restaurant, and Cradle is our small fine dining offering.
Okay. And just on the name Cradle, is there any sort of significance behind that?
Oh, absolutely. That's probably been one of my favourite parts of this whole process, was going through the branding workshops with the team on that. We thought really, we really worked, and we kind of had loads of members of the team working towards that. And I think it basically stems from this idea that, you're nourished by nature, and that's what we're hoping to achieve in that room, in terms of drawing on the local, the estate, and the whole straight from the garden to the table element. And it's this idea that it's a space of transformation. You know, those ingredients from the garden are transformed into something wonderful. You as a diner come in and, you know, you're almost transformed by this experience. It sounds quite, you know, reverential, but I think, yeah, so it's the idea that it's a place of kind of nourishment and transformation. And from that, we arrived at Cradle, which I was really pleased with, and I'm really excited about, you know, the branding that we've come up with and the story that kind of goes behind that.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. It sounds like it's going to be amazing, and the
Well,
plans
you
look
have to
really
come and
nice.
try the rice pudding because I have
I
to say it's
know.
fantastic.
Yeah, no, I think I'm coming up in May, so yeah, and I'm bringing
Nice.
my dog. So I was reading that you guys have got a
Oh,
dog. If you,
lovely.
yeah, I can bring my dog. I'm always happy to when I can bring my dog. So
Yeah, and I think we love dogs more than children at Cromlix. And I say that I have both, but I think like yeah, just we just like I always get so excited when I go and I see like there's like I can hear four paws running down the stairs. It's always been something that we've been really like passionate about is like take your dog on holiday with you if you can. So it's nice.
yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it, and yeah, definitely rice pudding. I'll have to try that.
Yeah, good.